farming. People have chosen to be farmers. Let them do it. But if you educate yourself, get a job, and you say, you can do processing. But going into that farming, you are praying to God. God, let me be poor, let me be poor, let me be poor. And you
Why are most farmers poor? Reason number one is limited access to resources. Many farmers, especially in our rural areas and developing regions, face challenges accessing land. It's difficult to come by a land on a large scale without litigation. Yes. So accessing those resources that are necessary, like land, water, quality seed, uh, is very difficult. And so the productivity is always low. And if their productivity is low, it means that they would not also be able to make much out of it. Yes. We have farmers that just depend on the rainfall. It means that once it is not raining, no farming activity can go on. All these things are hindrances. The other thing is lack of modern technology. Yes, and even the modern agricultural technologies that are available are not free. Yes, some are available though, but they are not free and they are expensive, and some farmers are not able to get these things. Then the other thing is climate change impact. At the time of making this video, in my area where I stay, more than 500 acres of maize farm has gone bad because the weather failed the farmers. The weather changed. At the time we were planting, it was raining, so many thought that the rain would sustain for some time. Just at the point where the crops were about tasseling, then the rain stopped till now, and we are approaching the Hamatan season. So what it means is that the hope of rainfall coming anytime soon is very low. And so because those maize did not get the rain at the needed time, they they have dried up on the farm. When you go, you it's as though someone has sprayed weedicide over them and all that. So climate change is affecting farmers a lot, and many people are losing money because of climate change. I visited a farmer just yesterday, and he has about 10 hectares of okra. All of it has gone bad because of lack of rain. Yes. Now, market access. You see, market access to market is another challenge on its own. So sometimes farmers um, harvest their produce, and where to sell it becomes an issue. And because the demand is low, they end up giving it out cheap, and they make no profit at all. Um, and for some people also, uh, because they do not get a market, these food crops and produce rot, and so there is that huge gap of post harvest loss, which is draining the profit or returns of many farmers, trapping them in the poverty cycle. Debt burden. In fact, it is very difficult securing loans for farming activities, and many farmers do not even get the opportunities to be funded by banks and all those things. So what happens is that they go in for what I call killer loans, loans with very high interest, and as they farm, they have to be paying off those loans. By the time they finish, they are still back to point zero. So I often advise farmers that as for loans for farming, please, you need to be careful. Yes, you need to be careful. If not, poverty will embrace you forever. Because when you take the loan from whosoever you are taking from, to farm, and your farm didn't get the intended result, it does not concern the person you took it from. It's none of the person's business. You still have to pay the person, and that will not be an easy thing. So let's be careful about taking loan for farming activities. Then we have limited education and training. Lack of training and education in modern farming techniques can hinder farmers from adopting more efficient and sustainable practices. Yes. So if our farmers, most of our farmers do not get access to training, go to some areas and they even a whole district. So let's say that a population of about 85,000, and they have only one extension officer, only one veterinary officer. All these things, it makes it difficult for the farmers, because how would one person to this huge number of people be able to train them effectively? If our farmers are not trained in modern technologies, they will still be using the old methods of farming. And by so doing, their produce wouldn't meet today's market's needs. Yes, because there are standards. And so, because it didn't meet the the market standard, those crops or produce will end up spoiling. Next point is dependence on subsistence farming. This one, the farmers farm basically to feed their family. It's like he is concerned about what they will eat, and they do not have that goal of farming, going into farming as a business. As long as they can get some food to eat and all that, and a little surplus to sort themselves out with one or two things, they are okay. If we want to change the story, then we need to begin to train our farmers to look beyond what to feed their family with. That is important, yes, but we need to train them how to go the extra mile, how to scale up and become a commercial hub. Then we have inadequate government support. Yes, insufficient government policies, subsidies, and support systems can leave farmers without the necessary assistance to improve their farming practices and income. You see, Ghana, particularly, if I talk about it right now, somebody may think that it's a propaganda. But the truth be told, that our farmers are not getting the needed support. And most of the government policies that are aimed at making life better for the Ghanaian farmer uh, are even becoming a subject of mockery, because those who seem to benefit are what we refer to as foot soldiers or party affiliates. And those who really deserve those kind of help or helps do not get it. And so, if we want to change the situation, then we have to begin to put in place good policies that can change the fortunes of this country. We cannot ignore the fact that our the greatest contributor of our GDP comes from agriculture. And so if it comes from there, we as a people, we as a government have to revisit the drawing board and make good policies that can help our farmers. Is land degradation. Soil erosion and degradation reduce fertility of land over time, impacting crop yields and contributing to poverty of farmers. In fact, land degradation, most of our lands are being degraded. Cocoa trees are being cut down for galamsey. Vegetations are being destroyed. And so, with time, we will have nowhere to farm. And this is the real issue that some farmers are facing. You lease a land from someone for farming, your crop is there, you're about to harvest, that is your investment. Then your landlord calls you and tell you that, hey, come for the money you've used to lease the land because I am about to sell it to the galamseyers, illegal miners. You've lost your investment. And so these activities that degrade our lands, we need to be careful and we need to protect our land so that by so doing, when our farmers cultivate, the land can be able to support. The last but not the least is market volatility. Fluctuations in market uh, prices and uncertainties can leave farmers vulnerable, especially if they lack the knowledge or means to adapt changing economic conditions. So, market volatility is one thing, and it is affecting a lot of things. And so you push in your investment into farming, and then when your yield is ready to for you to sell, then the price of that yield or commodity drops. When you make sales at that time, you'll be losing by a huge margin. Now, when you try to hold on to the produce, there is a likelihood that you lose it to post-harvest loss. So you are torn in between and you don't know what to do. So you end up selling it out and losing. So these are some of the things that contribute or are the very reasons why many farmers or most farmers are poor. I believe that if you look through these things well and you adhere to some of the advices I gave, you will be able to make a fortune. Farming is not for the poor, farming is lucrative, but then you have to do it with the right knowledge.